Hello, welcome to another video. In this video, I am going to try to explain sarcasm. So it's a very difficult thing to understand the sarcasm, I'm sure, in a particular language other than your first language before you're really able to understand the tone, the pitch, and the stress of the words. Also, facial features and body language, but I'll do my best to explain the definition of sarcasm and give you some examples that are common in the English language. Sarcasm in English. So what is sarcasm? Sarcasm is words, phrases, or sentences used to mean the opposite of what they mean literally. Why do we do this? Sometimes it's to mock or make fun of someone, which is generally a negative thing, not very kind. To show someone that you aren't happy, maybe just to be funny, to criticize someone, or to make light of your own mistakes or actions. So how do we recognize sarcasm? It's mostly in the tone, the pitch, inflection of the person's voice. Sometimes the context or the situation just makes it obvious. Sometimes we know it's sarcasm if it's very exaggerated. Or sometimes if the person stresses one word very heavily, and when we use it in a normal, genuine way, we wouldn't put that stress on that word. Maybe they're being sarcastic if their facial expression does not match the comment. Perhaps eye rolls. Maybe they're laughing, but it wouldn't be a funny comment if it were being used literally. So it's generally done when we're speaking, but now that texting is so common, we also do get sarcastic in our writing. So again, we might recognize it from the context, the situation in which it's being used. Sometimes exclamation marks tell us, this is probably sarcasm, not literal. Emojis, so the eye roll is very common, and many people use an upside down smile to show that they are joking or saying something sarcastically. Or it might just be obvious. So here's some examples of ways that we would use sarcasm. Maybe your child comes home and says, "Oh, I failed my test today." You say, "Oh, wonderful." Of course, you don't actually believe that it's wonderful to fail, so that is certainly sarcasm. Many people in Canada use this one. On a day when the weather is terrible, someone might say, nice weather we're having, and roll their eyes at the same time. Of course, if it's a snowstorm, nice weather we're having does not make a lot of sense. Therefore, we know they're being sarcastic. Maybe someone asks you, "Hey, can you get me some water and my purse, a hat, and a snack, please?" Well, of course, that's many things they want you to go and get for them. So in a sarcastic tone, you might say, "Sure, can I get you anything else?" You're not asking in a friendly way if there is anything else they would like. You are being sarcastic. Maybe if a person is eating what looks to be more sauce, more ketchup in this case, than food, you might jokingly say, "Hey, you want some fries with that ketchup?" Another common one is people tend to get really angry, upset, sad when others ignore them. Being ignored is not a good feeling. So people might say, "Oh, I love it when people ignore me." Of course, that's sarcasm because nobody loves to be ignored. Maybe you're baking and your friend tells you, you just put salt in the cookies instead of sugar. So to make light of your own mistake, you might say, "Oh my goodness, I'm a real genius today." Genius, of course, being really smart person. So you're just making a joke about yourself, meaning you are not a genius today. This one is extremely common, and many people for whom English is not a first language may miss this one. "I'm fine." So fine typically means good, well. "How are you?" "I'm fine, thank you." However, we tend to use it in a sarcastic way. So if we're not fine, if somebody has made us angry, we don't like something that someone has done to us, maybe we're sad, and they say, "How are you doing? How's it going?" "I'm fine. I'm fine." When the answer is "I'm fine," usually it's not. So remember that, especially in texts. I know for myself, I don't generally use the word fine to mean good. If someone asks, "How are you?" I respond, "Oh, I'm very well," or "I'm good, I'm great." If someone sends me a text, maybe they made me angry yesterday, and they say, "How are you today?" "I'm fine," means I'm not good. Maybe your husband or wife says, "Uh-oh, your laptop just fell in the sink." Well, that's great. Of course, sarcasm, and they've put stress on the word great. Based on the situation, we certainly know that a laptop falling into the water is not great. So it's just sarcasm that we're using in that situation. A friend says, "Oh, I have a mouse in my house." You say, "Oh, aren't you lucky?" You certainly don't think he or she is lucky to have this little guy running around in her house. "Oh, aren't you lucky?" So we know that's sarcasm. Someone's very happy they found some shoes on sale. "I just got these shoes for $5. You're joking. You say, "Oh, you're such a big spender." Of course, they were not. The shoes were very cheap. You're just bugging them, joking with them when you said that. Maybe you're following behind someone and they forget to hold the door. They just close it and it closes right in your face. You might say to them, "Well, thank you so much for closing the door in my face." Again, based on the situation, we know you are not happy. You are not thankful. So this is just sarcasm to show that you are not impressed with this situation. So how do we respond to sarcasm? First, most importantly, you need to understand the purpose of the sarcasm. If it was just meant to be funny and it wasn't hurtful, you might just laugh a little bit. Or if you agree, you might say, I know, right? Or exactly, or no kidding. So this might work with the example of weather. On a terrible day, if someone says, well, nice weather we're having, you can say, I know, right? If it was meant to be hurtful, you can choose to ignore it or tell the person that you don't like the way he or she is talking to you. Some people are very sarcastic, and we have to understand that they aren't usually trying to be hurtful. It's just their way of conversing. If you don't know whether someone is being sarcastic, you might need to ask a question. For example, are you serious? Or just, really? So it's best to be sarcastic with people that you know well. People who don't know you well and don't understand the intent or the purpose of your sarcasm might find it offensive, irritating, or even hurtful. Okay. So I hope that gave you a little bit of information about sarcasm in English. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.